Hi, I'm Colton with Porsche Center Calgary, and here today with a particularly special piece of pre-owned inventory. This is a 2020 718 Spyder, probably my favorite car Porsche has made in the last few years, and especially special because we're pretty certain it's going out of production very soon, if not technically already out of production. The Spyders are a really cool thing, and as I've said, quite special. They are not a typical Boxster. They are a little bit more extreme, a little bit more racy, a little bit more powerful, kind of a little bit more everything, while being a little bit less in a couple of important ways that matter. So the Spyder is the highest performing Boxster, so it's on that mid-engine 718 platform, but it uses a 4-liter naturally aspirated flat 6 engine. Compared, I guess, to the regular Boxster, the biggest difference that engine, the other being the weight savings, right? So the typical Boxster has an entirely powered top, which is great, very convenient, but does add a little bit of extra weight. This Spyder has a very different top. It's much more manual, though there's a little bit of power aspect to it. Saves a ton of weight and makes for quite a unique look as well. I think the rear kind of 3/4 view is my favorite of this car, where you have those unique two rear humps over the back that I think are just absolutely gorgeous. It'll have a slightly different front bumper as well. Looks great from the front also, but I think particularly from the rear, the car looks just awesome and is immediately just a little bit more imposing, a little bit more sporty than the regular Boxster, which is already a great looking car, but this is just that much more extreme and unique wheels too. But I want to talk about this one in particular. So starting with the outside, this is Gentian blue, which is an awesome color. I like it a lot better, frankly, than the sapphire blue that it replaced. A little bit more mass appealing, I think. Gentian blue metallic, so it will kind of sparkle in the sunlight too. It's a nice color. These wheels are the standard 20-inch 718 Spyder wheel. That design was the only one available on the car, but this one's unique in that it was optioned to be the satin platinum finish. So it has kind of that gunmetal gray look, which I think pairs quite nicely with the Gentian blue. And then the headlights are the top level LED with PDLS Plus, which is Porsche dynamic lighting system. So they'll turn with the steering wheel and they'll look further down the road as you speed up. And then that plus means you get the auto high beams as well. So you can leave your high beams on. When a car's coming the other way, it'll automatically dip them out of the way so you're not dazzling that oncoming driver, which is great. Makes for just more visibility more of the time. And then moving on to the inside of this one. It is the leather / Alcantara interior. So what that means is on several of the surfaces, you have the high-end smooth finish leather that Porsche offers. Your dash will be wrapped in that, the tops of the doors, as well as parts of the seats. And then the rest is Alcantara, which is the synthetic suede material, very much race inspired, very sporty, very kind of grippy, holds you in your seat well. Steering wheel is Alcantara as well. Gives you that, again, firmer grip on the steering wheel. It's not going to slide around in your hand and makes you feel a little bit racier. The gear lever too will be Alcantara in this case, and it is a gear lever, meaning a manual transmission, which I maybe should have mentioned off the top. But another thing that makes this car so special, the 718 Spyders are going out of production. The Spyder RS will still be made, which is even more extreme, but less kind of enthusiast-minded, in my opinion. It's more of a race car, only available with the PDK dual clutch transmission, which is great. It's faster. But this car, mid-engine rear-wheel drive and manual transmission, and it is a lovely 6-speed manual transmission. They just don't make these cars anymore. When I say that, I don't even mean just Porsche. I mean everybody in general. The automotive landscape has changed so much. We see so many electric cars. Almost never do you see something with a manual transmission and a naturally aspirated engine. So it's incredible, especially when you can get it with a manual like this. It's really, really a lovely thing. But getting back to the other options and content on this one, your trim. So with these cars, you have kind of a trim strip that goes over the center of the dash. If you have the more leather interior like this does, then the trim continues onto the doors. You can option that in aluminum or carbon, or what was done in this case is more leather. So you have that strip wrapped in leather, which if you've watched my videos before, I always like extra leather bits wherever I can have them. So I really like the leather trim. It's also on kind of that cup holder spot, right? If you're pressing that, and it's just a nicer touch to have the leather there, I think, with the surfaces you're interacting with. Other stuff inside, the door sills were upgraded too. They are carbon fiber and illuminated. So when you open up the door, you have that carbon sill, and it lights up and says 718 Spyder on it, kind of welcoming you to the car, which I always like as well. And then the 2-zone climate control. It's a small cabin. Some people say, it's not that important. Do you really need 2 zones? I think you do. Certainly it's nice to have, but the other aspect that people don't always recognize is when you don't have the 2-zone, it just shows in a number of dashes how warm or cold it is, as opposed to having the actual degrees displayed for both sides, which to me is reason enough to get the option. And it gives you the auto function too, if you like that. So nice to have for sure. Also, I haven't mentioned the seats yet. These are the 18-way adaptive sport seats, so the most adjustable seat that Porsche offers, and it gives you variable bolstering on the seat base as well as on the seat back, so you can really wrap yourself tightly. Gives you the thigh extension, the forward lumbar support as well. So you've got a very kind of sporty, well-supportive seat without having to go all the way to those carbon buckets, which are kind of the raciest seat, but to experience the benefits of that seat, you also have a whole bunch of drawbacks, which are they're much more difficult to get in and out of and not very adjustable. So if you don't find your seating position comfortable, too bad. You don't have a lot of choice. Whereas with these, you have a ton of choice while still getting a ton of support. So it's a great seat option. This one also has the power folding mirrors and the armrest. A subtle touch, but I like it. It's the Alcantara armrest with the Porsche logo on there. So you could have done a Porsche crest. I think particularly on these sportier, kind of more extreme versions of the Porsche vehicles, I like having the Porsche logo on there. I think it looks really cool. So cool to see that on here. Content-wise, I think that's just about everything I wanted to mention, but importantly as well, this one is a Porsche-approved certified pre-owned vehicle. So that means it's come in and gone through our inspection and reconditioning process, which is performed by, of course, Porsche certified technicians, and using only Porsche genuine parts, and you get the warranty extension with that as well. So from brand new, the car comes with 4 years or 80,000 kilometers. When that warranty expires, it gets an additional 2 years past that with actually no kilometer limit and still comprehensive coverage. So it's a great program that we've added to this car. Assuming you don't hit the mileage limit first, which I don't expect you would, you'd have warranty until July of 2026. And then, at that point, unlimited mileage. So pretty cool stuff there, pretty good value. It has right now just under 16,000 kilometers, so it hasn't seen a whole lot of use yet. And a great opportunity to get a really purist, strictly for driver kind of oriented car. I love these things, and there's going to be a very finite amount of them on the road as they cease production. So take advantage of the opportunity. Come check this one out. If you like it, take it for a drive or take it home. Thanks so much for watching.